Good morning, friends. Good morning, everyone. Riyad is back again. This morning, we are going to talk about motivation. When we talk about motivation, what does it mean? Motivation is the process affecting our inner needs. It is the things that energize us, that move us, that push us to behave in a way that we behave, or to sustain or to maintain a particular behavior. We are going to talk about 3 theories of motivation out of all the theories that we have. The first one we are going to talk about is Maslow hierarchy of needs. Maslow explains human needs in form of hierarchy, and he believes that once a human need is obtained or it is achieved in a stage, an individual tends to move higher to pursue another needs that is needed. At the base of the pyramid, we have the physiological need. What does the physiological need entail? It entails water, food, shelter, and etc. When an individual has all these things, or is satisfied with all these things, an individual will be okay. An individual will be motivated to work. An individual will be motivated to do whatever he or she is doing with his or her mind at peace. The next stage is the self and security. When an individual feels secured, either in the family, either in the society, either at place of work or anywhere he or she found himself, an individual tends to function perfectly well in his or her roles in that kind of environment. The next stage is love and belongings. An individual can cope well in an environment when there is love, when there is unity, when there is peace. At work, when there is no peace. At work, where there is no love. At work, when misunderstanding happens all the time, an individual may not function very well in his or her duty, because the environment will be very toxic for the person to function very well. The next one we are going to talk about is self-esteem. And when an individual's self-esteem is being expected, is being cherished, an individual will function very well in an environment. The last one is self-actualization. When an individual need has been met from the base to the self-esteem need, an individual will feel fulfilled that I have met all my needs, or all my needs has been achieved. Then individual will stop pursuing other things. Another motivation theory we are going to talk about is expectancy theory. Expectancy theory was developed by Victor Fromm. What does this theory say? The theory says that an individual will put more effort, or a lot of effort, in whatever he or she wants to do when he or she knows that they believe that there is a relationship in the efforts she puts, the performance achieved, and the reward that is expected from that work. An example is that when a boss gave a subordinate a work to do, and an individual is given a condition, okay, when you finish this work between this so time, you will be given this. What the person is expecting from that duty is what the person actually needs. So definitely the person will put a lot of effort to do that duty, because what is coming back, the expectancy to what the person is expecting after finishing that duty, is what he or she needs. Another example that I'm going to give is at home. When our children at home is giving work to them, they feel reluctant or they don't want to do it. But when the parents gives them a condition, when you do this, I'm going to give you this, definitely the child will put more effort in doing that thing, because the child is expecting a positive reward from the parent, and that reward, or that expectancy that the person is expecting, it is what that child actually needs. So meaning that if an individual is given a duty and the person is to be given a reward, if that reward is what the person needs, the person will put all her effort or all his effort in doing that thing. But if it is what the person doesn't really need, or doesn't really motivate the person, then the person either won't do that work or will feel reluctant in doing that work. Another theory we are going to talk about is B.F. Skinner reinforcement theory. What do you mean by, what does this say? What does this theory say? It says that a positive behavior, a behavior that comes with positive, or that comes with positive reinforcement, there is likelihood of that behavior being repeated. But a behavior that comes with negative negative reinforcement, there is likelihood of that behavior going into extinction. For example, at work, when a subordinate misbehave or a subordinate didn't do what he or she is supposed to do, if the subordinate is given a query, is being punished, is suspended, or is deprived of some incentive or some reward he or she is supposed to get, or maybe there is reduction in the subordinate salary, there is likelihood of that subordinate not misbehaving again because it came with negative consequences. But when an individual, a subordinate, did something and the person expected and the consequences is on the positive side. For example, the person and the subordinate is given a promotion at work, the subordinate is sponsored to further in education, or the subordinate is given promotion at work, reward, salary, the salary is increased. All those things came with positive consequences. So the behavior that the subordinate behaved that made he or she to receive those positive consequences, the person will behave more or better because he or she knows that when I do very well again, I'm going to get a positive reward. So that is all for now. Next time we will continue our next video, other theories of motivation. But once we wake up every morning, there is something that keeps us going in life. There is something that keeps on pushing us. That thing is a motivating factor. That thing is what makes us to sail through every storm. That thing is what makes us to sleep and to wake up every morning and get motivated to step out of our houses and function well during the day. Thank you. See you in our next video.